Captain Jim with Taiwan On Charter, and we're talking about today winterizing your outboard engines, or if you're up north, where you kind of put your boat up for several months due to the winter weather and the snow. Where I'm at down here in South Florida, this is what you would do annually, which is very, very similar. The one difference is we can use our boats year-round, so we're not really having to worry about storage as much as you are up north. So when you're winterizing your boat, the one thing you want to do when you get ready to put that up is you want to change all your lubricants, your engine oil, your lower gear lube. What I use engine oil wise, and obviously depending on your manufacturer, you might want to use their brand, but me in particular, I use AMSOIL. I have Yamaha 300, so I use the AMSOIL synthetic 1040 for my engines. Gear lube, I use the AMSOIL marine gear lube. That's what I use, again 100% synthetic. I'm a big believer in synthetic lubricants. One of the other aspects of winterizing your engine, you want to change, of course, not just your engine oil, get all the old oil out of there while it sits, sits in storage or what have you. Change your filters. I use, of course, the original Yamaha oil filters. On your fuel canisters that are on board, these 10 micron fuel canisters, I use the Sierra brand, which I think they're all probably made by the same manufacturer. They just put a different name on it, but these exceed the manufacturer's warranty, if you will, or recommendation. But you change them just like you would your other filters, as far as these every 50 hours. I'm talking about your onboard fuel water separators. When you're running your outboards, I always use Marine Stable. Every fill up, every time I add fuel, I add Marine Stable. Keeps your entire fuel system clean. All your engine internal fuel related parts, keeps the fuel clean running through those, which should always keep your engine running top notch. But what it also does is it keeps your fuel fresh or from becoming stale when it sits in storage. And this is, very important for people who leave their boats sit for any length of time. You want to make sure you're using a product like this, so come springtime, when you go to fire up your engine again, you should have no fuel problems because your fuel's still fresh. This will keep your fuel fresh through your whole entire fuel system, including the fuel tank, what's in the engines as well, for up to 12 months. So, this might be your biggest investment right here, is making sure your fuel's treated. And that goes for even if you're using non-ethanol fuel. I use ethanol fuel because I fill up at the gas station. I've never had a problem with ethanol fuel, but I use my boat all the time. I have friends that use non-ethanol fuel, and same thing, they never had any problems, but they do add Marine Stable because it keeps your entire fuel system clean. On the exterior of the engine, I use a product from 303. It's called Quick Wax. So I always wax the exterior of my engines. Me personally, I do it at least once a month, just because it's easy to do. You squirt it on, rub it on, let it dry to a haze, and you rub it off with a microfiber towel. And that'll keep your engines looking like new. Great product, real easy to use. And again, if you care about your investment and what your boat looks like I do, great product to use. Underneath the cowling, when I'm changing the oil, I use two products. This one in particular, I use a water-resistant silicone lubricant, WD-40. This happens to be. I spray down underneath, like the rubber hoses, fuel hoses, things like that, to keep the saltwater corrosion from getting to it. But I also, on the metal parts and washers and whatnot, I do use CORRSIONX, another fantastic product. You should never have a corrosion issue. And one thing when you're putting your boat up for storage, obviously you want to inspect the underneath the cowling for corrosion and treat it with products like that, as well as the exterior. You want to make sure it's waxed when you put it up, so again it looks new. All the oils and lubricants are replaced. On your lower unit, make sure that you change your little drain plug gaskets here. These items are about $1 to $1.25, depending on where you get them. This is the difference between keeping water out of your lower unit and getting water in. Some people will reuse these. These aren't designed for that. They're designed for a one-use shot. And again, being for $1, $1.25, just replace some peace of mind when you replace your gear lube, or even if you're checking your gear lube. You know, some people do that, check it every 25, 50 hours, whatever. Just replace these. That way you'll never have an issue with water getting in there due to a faulty drain screw gasket. And lastly, I use, you know, you have all these grease zerks on the outside of your engine for the steering, you know, for the steering tilt areas. If you look in your owner's manual, you can find out where they're all at. I happen to use a water-resistant grease, and this one happens to be from AMSOIL. Again, synthetic. I'm a big believer in synthetic. You'll notice here that this is what at least what Yamaha's recommendation is the number 2, and I suspect most of them are that. But anyway, this is a great product. I've been using this for years and years and years, and it works like a charm. I actually use this in my boat trailer wheel bearings as well too. And there you have it. I mean, it's pretty, all this stuff that you're seeing here, I do myself. It's all pretty simple to do. It takes a little bit of time, but I like doing it anyway. A lot of you guys are handy, can do that kind of stuff. If not, yeah, just take it to your local marine. They'll be happy to do it for you. And take care of your boat. But that's pretty much it. These are actually the products, everything you see here is exactly what I use, and it's what I've been using for years and years and years. And I've had no faults out on the sea, and I venture out, you know, 50, 60, 70 miles at a time. And I've never had an engine malfunction or an engine problem or a fuel related problem. Again, I use the Marine Stable on every fill up. But that's just my advice for me as a test case, if you will. I can attest to all this stuff because I've been using it for years. I hope that helps you guys out when it comes to storing your outboards, or even just doing, like I said, the annual service on your engines. Have a great week.